the spirit of America.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. Not too long ago, two friends of mine were talking to a Cuban refugee, a businessman who had escaped from Castro. And in the midst of his story, one of my friends turned to the other and said, "We don't know how lucky we are." And the Cuban stopped and said, "How lucky you are. I had some place to escape to." If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The Democratic Party has been losing the Hispanic community over the years. Deep blue strongholds with large Hispanic populations have been shifting right all over America. Florida in particular went from being a swing state to a deep red state. And even more notable, Republicans won large metropolitan centers like Miami, Tampa, and Jacksonville, something unheard of just a few short years ago. And Democrats can't tell you why. They'll somehow blame racism and white supremacy, but the answer is simple really. They're afraid of the ideology some of your members stand for. Some of them escaped from its tyranny, or have friends and family who told them the stories. They sat there and watched their tears of joy well up when they first got their taste of freedom. The awe of witnessing the abundance found in our supermarkets, and the sadness in their eyes when they thought about their family left behind. My family immigrated from a country in South America that watched their neighbor fall for the promise of utopia. And now what once was the richest nation in the continent spiraled into poverty and ruin. It's a shame to see the very same ideology our brothers and sisters fought so hard to escape infect our American politics. It sounds wonderful, don't it? The promise of equity for all. And socialism brings that promise of equality, but not in the way you think. Because all it does is make the people equally impoverished. Unless, of course, you're one of the elites on top. The Hispanic community understands what's at stake. And they finally have the freedom to have their voices heard. They chose to use the stop the spread of socialism. Not because they're tired of running, but because they got nowhere else to go.